feminism. Intersectional feminism is your lives, your struggles, your histories, your culture, your community, your bodies on the line in resistance. Because to be a black feminist, to be a queer feminist, to be an undocumented feminist, to be a trans feminist, to be an atheist feminist of color, to be a guitar-loving, spoken word spewing, literature-loving feminist of color, to be a disabled feminist of color is to be intersectional every moment of your life. Is to be in resistance to a society where African American girls are disproportionately locked up, pushed out of school, suspended, and expelled in greater numbers than are white girls because of the intersection of sexism, racism, misogyny, and toxic stereotypes about what black girls can and cannot be. This is a day where your voices, your truths, your stories are front row and center as visionary feminists of color who are making feminist change happen in your schools and your communities.
Okay, now look around. There is a climate that needs to be changed as far as understanding sexual harassment, sexual violence, and changing it within our schools and just changing that narrative and conversation. So this panel is full of awesome, amazing people who have been through some of these experiences and want to share. Women of color are usually excluded from conversations about sexual harassment and violence. In your communities, how have you been uplifting conversations about sexual violence and harassment as it relates to girls and women of color?
So, one thing that I do is I just always make sure I'm uplifting and bright face, and I always make sure just to maintain a happy environment. And I do this just by being myself, and usually at times it allows the other person to talk to me about experiences they've had in the past. So I don't always, or I never generally just bring it up because that person may be going through something. I open the space and allow them to talk to me so they feel comfortable and they feel safe. And then I will end up talking to them about personal experiences that I have heard, or if I personally have gone through something, saying, well, this has helped me too, like this is what I do to help me get through this. And just letting that person be known of their options, that if they want to tell someone they can, and just being aware and just thanking them for telling me their experiences, because that's something that can be hard, and a lot of people suppress that stuff that they've been through for years, and sometimes you're the first person that they've told.
What are some barriers to girls of color reporting violence on school campuses, and how do stereotypes affect reporting rates, and what are ways to push back?
I think personally, as a black woman, there's a lot of stories that are unheard regarding sexual assault and sexual violence that sweep under the rug and regarding school and school incidents. Sometimes there are stereotypes like, oh, maybe she wanted that attention, or maybe she was too fast, so it's been told to let it go and not really speak up about it. So there's some things I've heard, some things I've seen girls do is just let it go, sweep it under the rug, and then have that pain inside and keep it inside. I think one way to push back is to educate others about how we're all women, how we all deserve respect, and how we all deserve to not be touched or not to be sexually assaulted, and to speak up. Listen to people, listen to their stories, and to speak up for others. That's something that I guess we can start to do for women who can't speak up, basically.
What is missing from the current narrative or conversation about sexual harassment and assault as it relates to girls and women of color? What needs to be brought to the forefront?
I really think the main thing that's missing from these narratives and conversations about sexual assault women of color are the actual stories from the women of color. I think there's a lot of times and when you mentioned earlier about the Me Too movement, we're missing a lot of the narrative of these intersectionalities with different people that are experiencing these sexual assaults, and I think it's important to shine light on not only one group of people that are experiencing this. And it is important, to state because their stories matter as well. But when you just hear one side, you think that sexual assault is only this, and you don't see the full picture of everything of what sexual assault really is and how our experience of sexual assault is totally different. It's I feel like it's actually more, it's more frequently happening with women of color. And when you just show one side, you're not seeing the whole picture. So I just really think those stories from the actual women of color that it's happening to is really missing as a key point of the whole movement.
When I was in high school, I used to play volleyball, and I felt like I was getting harassed by a lot of people just because of what we have to wear. Obviously, we have to wear shorts because it's volleyball. That's kind of the uniform. Hello. So people will look at you weird just because you're walking around in your uniform, rather than if someone that's playing softball is looking at you different than a person that's playing volleyball. Anyways, I wish I would have known everything that I know about sexual harassment and sexual assault now, well then, because I would have gone to a teacher to let them know so whatever I was feeling could be stopped. And it didn't, and I really liked volleyball. And I did finish varsity until 2012, but it was a constantly feeling of being attacked. So as a teacher now, it's so important for you guys to share with the teachers. And I know that there's some teachers that don't really understand or hear you, but you guys just have to go with somebody that you guys can trust, and you guys know that they're gonna do something about it. It's just very important because they can do a little bit more than we can as students. So just step up a little bit and change it for other people. I wish I would have changed it for other people, and I can now by just sharing whatever happened. Yeah, I think that just has to be added.
What I want to say is that it could happen to anyone. It doesn't matter what body shape you have. Because like for me personally, like in middle school, I would get a lot of comments about my body. And that actually affected me a lot because I would, like how would I say, I started caring about what I dressed. And I started to cover myself more. And it's like ridiculous because one time when I was walking to school, there was like old guys catcalling me and I had a hoodie on. So that was just
You feel like
created by African American policy fiancé Kimberly Crenshaw as a spearhead. The movement is to bring visibility to the African American women also being killed and brutalized by the police. Some examples are Sandra Bland, who was said to have committed suicide in police custody, Dajaria Beckham, who was pinned to the grass at a pool party in McKinney, Texas, and also Charlene Miles, who was pregnant when she was shot and killed by police. Hashtag Say Her Name movement is more than just a hashtag. It is to bring visibility to the invisible and give a voice to the voiceless.
So, hashtag Say Her Name is a movement that was created to bring, to basically put a name on the stories that you're hearing.
A woman or girl is really asking to be sexually assaulted if she is wearing revealing clothes. If she is wearing revealing clothes because men can't control themselves sexually.
False.
I like that.
Real energy. It's false.
most sexual harassment is just harmless for speech.
False.
It's a safe space. You know, if you have a question about something, always ask it. Feel safe to talk about how you feel. Just trying to put that out there.
All right.
I think the question mark is because it's been so long accepted that men can make comments in the guise of flirting.
So just remember that when you're going out there and advocating for yourself, because if you don't ask, there's not going to be anybody that's going to ask for you. and you should be asking everybody that's doing the same work how much they're getting paid. Because they're always gonna try to pay you less, and you need to be asking for more all the time. What's gonna be the worst? They're gonna lowball you and you're gonna keep going back and forth. It's like going to the swap meet. You have to know how much that item is worth. That's the best way I could explain it to y'all. Think about it as going to the swap meet. You need to advocate for yourself.
From like the types of actions we did, or yours too. So yeah, it's just beneficial. Like overall, it's just beneficial.